Today I'm going to plant some seedlings on the empty pockets of my green stock to overwinter. So it is a little bit late to do fall plantings here in my region at least, but the seedlings that I have here are varieties that can be overwintered to be harvested next spring. I've done that before with the purple sprouting broccoli, which is a variety that I have here today, but I'm also trying to overwinter some spinach this year as well, and we're gonna get this planted. I've heard that overwintered spinach is really good and produces very early in the season. And I also have some chives here that a friend of mine gave to me to put in one of the pockets. I have successfully overwintered chives in my green stalks for a few years. They always come back in the next year. So we're going to start here with this planter, and I'm just going to plant some stuff from the empty pockets. We're going to start with the spinach in this, because this is the leaf planter with shorter pockets, and I plan to put the broccoli on those planters over there because they are bigger. So let's start with the spinach first. So I have a few empty pockets in this planter on the side over here, and that's where I'm going to start. I have started those seeds on September 6th. Now is the end of September, so they have been growing here for about 3 weeks. They're looking good for 3 weeks of growth. So I'm just going to poke a hole in here and then transplant the whole cell. There's some of them that has more than one per cell. I put 2 seeds and a couple of them germinated. Oh my gosh, there's a worm inside my seedling tray. Look at this. That has never happened before. They never got inside the seed tray. I think this is a red wiggler. I hope so. Can you guys see it? You can see here in my hand. Well, it's gonna go right in the green stalk and help. Oops, she fell. I'm gonna pick her up and help with getting our soil good in there too. Let me get it. There we go. And put it back in there. And then plant our spinach seedlings right in the middle. Let's see if there's another one in another pocket. That was very interesting. Okay, this one looks clear, but the roots are nice. So these plants are young and they have a small root system, but they're definitely not bound or anything yet. They look nice and white, so it's nice and healthy. So let's just put this plug right over here as well, right in the middle. That one only has 1 seedling, and I'm gonna put the third one right here on this pocket. Okay. The soil here is very moist still. The seedling trays are also moist, so I think those guys are going to do very well here. I actually want to do something that's still kind of related to planting for overwintering, which is I have this volunteer feverfew in here that grew from a seed from a plant that I had close by, and I'm gonna take that out of that pocket and put it right here in this cell because I don't want that growing in the green stalk. This feverfew plants get huge, so I'm gonna plant her somewhere else, and I guess where she was I can plant a spinach plant as well, little spinach seedling. Gotta be very careful here. I don't want to damage the roots very much. There we go. Get one more planted on this side. So we got 4 in here, and already on this planter I have some arugula in the bottom there. Let me turn it so you guys can see. Right here I have some arugula that also volunteered. I see some other feverfew seedlings in there, but I will take care of that later. I have some lettuce growing in here, some radishes. These are some violas, some pansies that have been growing here since the spring. I gave them a prune back, and now they're kind of growing back again, which I love. They love the cold weather, and they overwinter for me in New York City. So we're gonna do an experiment this year and see if they will overwinter here in our new garden. And I have some more radishes up here and some arugula that volunteered for a plant that I had here as well. And I'm not sure if those are going to overwinter or not, but I'm gonna let it be killed by the winter. Some of them are pretty cold hardy, and I'm curious to see how long I'll be able to harvest this here from. Now we're gonna move on to the other side and fill up some pockets in here too. This one is empty, and this one has a little mizuna in here, little seedling that volunteered, but it's not doing super good. So I might plant some spinach next to it. And then here I have some I think it's dill is also a volunteer, and some arugula. But there's another empty pocket in the back here, so I have two seedlings left. So maybe I'll just do one here and one there and see how this Mizuna is gonna do for us this fall. Oh no, my other plant almost fell. Oops. Gotta be careful taking out of the seedlings, but let's put one here. Turn this planter. I have it in a spinner. We put another one right here. Silver field, gotta have to be careful. Okay, we have the tag with this one. I'll keep it in there. Just planted right here as well. There we go. There's another baby one in the back. Let's see if that will survive. It would be good to have more than one in each pocket in case some die in the winter, but that's what I have now, so we're just going to see how they are going to do. Okay, now let's move on to this bigger planter over here and get some broccoli and chives planted. Broccoli actually gets really big, so I'm going to plant them in the lower pockets just to plant for next year. I have lots of empty pockets in here. So you have this beautiful nasturtium growing this way, but has smaller seedlings all over the side too, so we're gonna plant it in here where the pockets are empty. And how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe get some chives right up here too. So this is a purple sprouting broccoli variety. It's meant to be overwintered. It only flowers if it overwintered, and it can grow without coverage from zone 7 and higher. So here we are in zone 6B, 7A, so I want to give some protection to them. I have a frost cover from GreenStalk, and I plan to actually use it in here this year over the winter to help this broccoli do well and survive for us until next year. And the ones I have too, I'm not going to pinch now. I'm going to wait until they get a little bigger, and then I will pinch or take off the weakest one, so to give it the biggest one a chance to thrive. But I'm planting these seedlings fairly small, so I really want to just see how they will do first before I do that. Give them a better chance to see which one will get stronger. This one has the tag too, so I'm just going to put it over there. Okay. And I'll put a fourth one here as well. Even though these guys are quite small, I still want to see how they will do. Usually you grow these seedlings about 4 weeks before planting them out. I'm doing that 1 week earlier than the recommended. But since I have the planters here and they're ready to go, I kind of wanted to just put them out here anyway and let them grow in the planter with more soil, more light, more space. So we'll see how that would do. And I think I'm just going to plant this for the broccoli now, just for, I don't have a frost cover for that one. I have an insect cover that I'm planning to use on the ones that I planted the spinach, just more so to protect it from wildlife than insects over the winter. But I'm not going to plant anything on that planter this fall. That's going to be my planter for the spring, that we can plant some things early in the season too. So now let's plant these chives right over here above this hill in the broccoli. The chives gonna have a bigger root system because they are in a bigger container. So you might have to remove some dirt from this pocket and put somewhere else. I'm gonna put in this one right next to it and try to fit the root ball of this one here. Chives have really strong roots. There we go. Usually they grow very fast and they're very strong. So let's see if I can just squash them in here. I had a plant in here earlier too that still has a little stump, so it was not as easy for me to dig. I like to cut my plants to the bottom and leave the roots in there, just to keep adding some organic matter nutrients to the soil, some aeration as well. So sometimes it can be a bit challenging to have a bigger plant, but it's not impossible. You can always make things work. And that's it. The chives are planted there and looking good. And chives are really cold hardy, so they will keep growing, producing for us. I'll be able to keep harvesting from it until November. I hope you'll see I am gardening in a new growing zone. We have just moved and we're still learning about our new conditions in here, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm excited to see how this will do in this next coming months. So now it's time for watering them. Every time that you transplant anything to the garden, into GreenStalks, pots, or directly into the soil, you want to give them a good watering so you help those roots to get well established in there. So my soil was moist and the seedlings were moist, but I'm also going to just water them in a little bit with a hose. And when I'm transplanting, I like to water directly into the pocket to get those roots nice and wet. But after a couple days, I will just started watering them to the watering reservoir again. Speaking of watering, when I'm overwintering things, I usually don't water them once it gets really cold. Once we get our first frost and the temperatures start to get low, I'm gonna have to turn the water off from our house to protect the pipes, so I do not water them over the winter. I have done this in the past, overwintering other things, and I never really had a problem because here in New York, at least we have usually wet winters, so we will have some rain, or even if we get snow, the snow will get into the pockets. We actually insulate a little bit, it's a good thing. And then when it melts, we water the pockets as well. So I do not water when I overwinter. And if you want to see how I prepared the soil and gave a little maintenance to my GreenStalks before I did this fall planting, I'm going to link a video here that you can watch next. I was amending that GreenStalk right there that actually changed sides. It used to be here and I put it in there because of sun exposure. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you next time.